What's going on, guys? Byron here from ETA Kitchen, and we are testing out our new setup. Ta-da! We are rocking a DJI Osmo Pocket 2, and hopefully it's going to improve our capabilities here a little bit. So you're probably asking yourself, what are we here to do today? We are going to make a big-ass jar full of pickles. Big old jar full of pickles, guys. I've got cucumbers that are soaking in the veggie wash right now. I don't care what they tell you on other YouTube channels. If you don't wash your pickles properly, you're nasty. Nobody likes a dirty pickle. So we're going to go ahead and soak these, and we're going to make a whole lot of pickles today. And when I say a whole lot of pickles, I mean, man, we're going to make a whole lot of pickles. We've got about a gallon-sized jar right there, and we are going to make a big jar full of pickles. So we are going to be using, these are organic cucumbers, and we're going to be doing some chips as well. These are English cucumbers. Those chips are going to be done here, whereas this is going to hold the spears. Now I just want to show you guys, and we're going to go ahead and try this. Please forgive me, I'm still learning. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. In case you're wondering what that thing clipped on my neck there is, that is a microphone that actually came with the camera. So if you're looking for the best deal for your money for a vlogging camera or something like what we're doing, you can also see my weight loss. I'm very happy about that. I am down 18 kilos. That is just about 30 something pounds. So even if you go back to my beginning videos on the ETA Kitchen, you can see me, you can actually see how much weight I've lost. So we've got English cucumbers, which are ridiculously huge. They're also a little bit sweeter, so I want to do those over here in a smaller jar. We've got our water mix. I have to add the salt to that still, but that's okay. And as you can see, man, we got a lot of pickles. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go ahead and finish washing up these cucumbers so we can get this process and party started, I guess. And we're just going to do a very simple brine. In case you guys are curious, we're going to zoom you over. Oop, wrong way. Sorry. There we go. So this is the jalapeno hot sauce that I started yesterday, and I'm lazy. I apologize. I still have to get the video up. Anyway, moving on. So as you can see, it's already starting to turn cloudy, which means it's already starting to ferment, which is awesome. These are the dilly beans. So this is what they look like 1 week into it. Now you can see little bubbles popping up. That is CO2. That's not air bubbles. And that means that these things are fermenting happily. We have llama's guts, which as you can see has expanded up as it ferments, and it's doing its thing. This is the Pandar's Revenge. It's doing the same thing. These guys are coming up pretty close to the end of their fermentation cycle. And these are the dill pickles that I did last week. I think these are going to be ready probably about Tuesday or Wednesday. Just depends. So let me see if I can zoom in with this. All right, so now you guys can see a little better because I'm able to manipulate the camera a lot easier, and this has a nice, little bit better of a field of view, I think. We're just popping the air bubbles out, which are not air bubbles, they're CO2. But CO2 is a sign of life. That means the brine is alive. I hope you guys can see that. Alright, so I'm going to do llama's guts. I'm just going to turn it this way and hope that everything stays in focus. Let me zoom. No. Oh, that's kind of cool. Totally not what I intended to do. That's okay. This has a little joystick, nice remote features. This thing is awesome. All right, so you can hopefully see those bubbles coming up. And they said, hang on a second. I'm still learning to use this, guys. This is my first time actually test driving this camera. I literally brought it home today. So, oh, there we go. We were able to get zoomed in a bit. That's awesome. And you guys are seeing this live. You guys are getting to see all of this live here. Okay. There we go. And there we go. I'm not sure how this is going to come out on camera, but I think it's going to be cool. So let me move out of the way. And we're just going to draw a tracking target. And there we go. We've got this zoomed in on the target, which is pretty cool. So as I move it, it's going to follow it. That's neat. I'm sorry, that's just awesome. Can't do that with a GoPro, guys. So I hope you saw that nice surge of air bubbles. We're going to do this again. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's a whole lot of air bubbles. Means it's alive, means it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And we'll go ahead and put the dilly beans back up here, and we're going to give them one more as well. You guys can see that. They smell incredible. And this is the Angry German Cabbage, aka the sauerkraut. And it's doing its thing. Looks like it had a little bit of water come out of the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cleaned up. Because a clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. And a happy kitchen means Daddy has to do less work to maintain it. You can see that the solution has turned cloudy. That means it's beginning its fermentation and it's doing its thing. So now we're just going to zoom back out. And we're going to come back over, and there we go. All right, neat. So I'll get back to you guys in a little bit, and we'll continue. Alrighty, guys, and we're back. So we're going to go ahead and get everything prepped. One of the cool things you guys that are stateside may not realize, when you go overseas and you buy an oven, a lot of times it's got a fold down cover like this. It just gives you a little bit of extra counter space. And extra counter space is a beautiful thing. I have been working on slowly rehydrating my dill here. It's good enough. It'll work. It's not the best. It's not the greatest, but you're wonderful, dill. You're beautiful, and you're a lot firmer than you were. So dill doesn't survive very long once it's uprooted. Anyway, hope you guys can hear me good. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I've already pre-boiled this. I've already sterilized this jar, so that's not going to be an issue. And I'm using this jar because I want to show you guys at home, Mr. Panda, Mr. Llama, you can do this without any special equipment, right? This is literally just an IKEA, I think that's a 3.5 liter jar. So just about a gallon, not a big deal. Now we're going to go ahead and start processing these, and I'm going to do some of them as whole pickles, and some of them I'm going to do as spears. Now I just want to show you this part right here. You want to cut that off, and you want to cut that part off, because there's an enzyme that's contained in there that'll make your pickles, as they pickle, soft. Nobody wants a soft pickle, right? So we're just going to slice them in half. And then we're going to go ahead and slice them in half again. And if you want to be really fancy and get some thin pickles, you can make some thin pickles. I'm not here to show off my mad knife skills. But we are, however, going to lay that down. And actually, I just realized I forgot something. Let's go ahead and put our pickling spice in there. So what are we going to use for pickling spice? Well, we're going to throw a little bit of garlic pepper and a little bit of cumin in there. And when I say a little bit, go ahead and grab me a little spice bowl. See, I always try to be prepared, and I just wasn't prepared today, guys. I'm sorry. But we here at ETA Kitchen, we like to show it how it is. So even if we make a flop, we're going to show you. We have nothing to hide and nothing to gain by hiding. So now we've got that going, and we're just going to throw a little bit of chili powder in there. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Bring a little bit of heat. And I'm going to throw a Thai chili, possibly 2, in there. So this is just a little bit of cumin, a little bit of garlic pepper, and a little bit of chili powder. Nothing particularly fancy. We're just going to throw it in there. It's going to give it some nice flavor. And we're going to go ahead and grab our dill. And we got a whole bunch of dill. And we're going to go ahead real fast, off camera. Not doing anything particularly fancy. I'm just getting rid of all of the really nasty, wilted, kind of not so nice dill. All right, cool. So that's gone, mostly. Still gonna have to sort it a little bit. This is, however, very, very good smelling dill. Very pleasant smelling dill. Who doesn't like a nice dill? All right. There we go. And as you can see, we have some not so nice dill. Believe it or not, that was delivered fresh not even quite 2 days ago. So I think if I buy dill in the future, I'm going to go ahead and buy dill pots. And in some of our future episodes, once Mr. Llama and Mr. Panda get here in person, here in Abu Dhabi, you're going to see us build an herb garden. And then you're always going to see fresh herbs on this channel from that point going forward. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a little slice-a-rooney for 3. And we're going to go ahead and chuck this in here. I like dill, in case you couldn't tell. And this is a big batch, so I don't know how much to use. But that's the cool thing about experimentation, right? The next thing we're going to do is throw our garlic in there. And I've got some black garlic, and I've got some regular garlic. So this is the black garlic, which smells absolutely incredible. And this is our regular garlic. And we're just going to put 4, 5, 6 there. So we're going to do this garlic a little bit different. We are, I originally intended to do a quick pickle, and I just decided that, you know, that's just not worth it. Plus I'm going to have pickles ready next week. So we're going to do a standard pickle. Go ahead and peel our black garlic. That's black garlic. That is garlic that has already been fermented. And we're just gonna do a little chop, 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 choppity chop, chop, chop. There we go. It's kind of, man down, man down. No, we're not going to use it. But like I said, when we make a mistake, you get to see it all. I know I could be one of those content creators that's out there doing cool stuff and, You never get to see any of the accidents or B-roll or any of that stuff. Well, you're going to get to see it all here. By the way, if you do like what you're seeing and you would like to help me grow my channel even more, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscription. I'd like to think that you guys are getting a good value out of this. We're going to do this a little different. Instead of slicing up the garlic, we're just going to smash it. In you go. Some of you guys may be wondering why. Well, I've read that when you smash it versus slice it, you get a little bit of a better flavor during the pickling process. So, I say, let's find out. You do want to be careful, Mr. Panda and Mr. Llama, when you try this, so that you don't cut yourself. I actually keep my kitchen knives very, 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 very ridiculously sharp, because I don't like to work hard when I'm chopping. There we go. Ha! Sigh. Alrighty. Back to the fun. They don't have to be perfect. In fact, I find that when people have perfectly sliced pickles, I don't trust them. Not really, I just made that last part up, but it sounds good, right? It sounds like a good rule of life. So while we're doing this, now that you guys have kind of sort of seen the process a little bit, like I said, it's nothing particularly fancy. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the time-lapse feature so that this video will not go so long, and we'll be back. Alrighty guys, and so we're back. Now, I want to show you something pretty cool here. Check this out. I made a bridge across the top, and hopefully what that's going to do is help to keep the pickles submerged. I want to try to do this without putting a bag full of water as a weight. I'm unsure of the wisdom of doing it as such, but as you can see, we got this sucker pretty much packed up to the gills. So what I'm going to try to do is shove 2 more longer pickles that way. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of take a measurement. So this guy right here, looks like he'll work just fine. So we're going to go ahead and dice him up. And we're going to use this to just kind of shove everything down so everything stays in the brine. Now we're going to need one for the other side. So it looks like this gentleman has volunteered to put one down for the most noble cause of all, which is making pickles. It's a higher calling, guys. There we go. There we go, look at that. So it looks like that's going to work pretty well. These 2 guys at the top are going to be sacrifices. Trying to get him shoved, well, maybe not. If I can get them to get, there we go. Oh man, I'm awesome. I'm awesome! Awesome! So, we've got these shoved down and under. So they're under this rim right here, if you have a look at my finger there. So these are going to keep all of the pickles down so this brine stays submerged. So now we're going to go ahead and do our calculation, and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so our target measurement, I've got 4 cups of water here, and I know I've got 4 cups of water here. Again, we want a 2.5% brine mix. So because we want a 2.5% brine mix, we're going to go ahead and come over here to the scale, which hopefully you guys can see a little better now. Alrighty, so now you guys might actually have a pretty good chance of seeing what it is that I'm doing, because this is a way better camera. Zoom in slightly. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and tear out the scale. So now we have a 0. Since I already have a known 4 cups of water, we're going to go ahead and just measure 24 grams of salt, which we're going to mix into our water to make our brine. All right. That's a fork. That's not going to help. That's a knife. That's not going to help. Oh, that's a spoon. All right. So we're just going to measure 24 grams of salt. And because this is a bigger batch than I normally do, I actually want to go with 26 grams of salt. It's going to give it just a little bit of extra, which is not a big deal, but better to be safe than sorry. Let's see where we're at. So we're at 23, 25, 27. Okay, 27 it is. That's going to be like a 2.75% brine, but that's okay. Zoom back out. So now we're going to go ahead and put the salt into the water. Bring it over here. And we are, as soon as I can find my little spatula, there it is. Alrighty, so we're just going to stir till all that salt is dissolved. And I noticed that there's about a half a gram that doesn't seem to get dissolved. So that's why I went a little bit over on the salt, which is not a big deal. It only becomes a big deal if you get above 5%. If you get above 5% salt brine, it's just not going to work properly. It's not going to do what it is that you want it to do. This is, of course, filtered water. It's not tap water. You can use the tap water here, and if you're going to use tap water, especially in the States, it's got chlorine in it. So what you got to do is figure out your saltwater brine the night before, and you leave the appropriate amount of water out on the counter overnight, and the chlorine will dissipate from the water, and then you can just do what you need to do. All right. So now we're just going to fill her on up. And we'll see how we feel about the floaters as it goes. Hopefully we won't get any floaters. If we do get floaters, what I'm going to do is add some apple cider vinegar, and we're going to put these into the fridge, and these will become refrigerator pickles. So now we're going to go ahead and move this on over. Everything is staying nicely submerged. We're going to see how well that continues to work for us tomorrow when I update you guys. But actually, I'll do this over here just so you guys can see. We're going to try to get any air bubbles that are existing in here out. And you do that just by giving it a little love tap. But I've got these so firmly in there. But see, I had one bubble there. was hanging on, that would have been a bad thing. We want to make sure that all the air bubbles are out. And we're still getting a little bit come up. Not a big deal. But the way that I've got these pickles wedged in here, it's going to allow that to happen. I don't believe that this particular jar is going to sit on here tight, or this lid is a good lid. But if there's a buildup of gas, I think it's going to be able to fart out of there. And I'm going to be farting it out every day. So, you know, there's that. When the rest of my fermentation lids arrive next week, and these guys over here finish up, what we're going to do... All right, so don't mind the mess. Been a little busy this weekend. But once these guys here finish up, I'm going to be able to transfer these into there to finish in their brine, of course, which we have more than enough of. And you can see we still have some air bubbles that are floating to the top, and that's not a big deal. What is going to be a big deal is if this starts absorbing a bunch of that water and flavor, I might have to add some more brine to it a little bit later on, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that is our big old jar of pickles. That is going to be some incredible dilly pickles. And this is Byron. So y'all guys have a good weekend. Let me know how you like the new footage. Let me know how I can improve. And again, if you guys want to be able to help me grow, please, please like, hit the notification buttons. Let's grow this channel. Let's become something awesome. Let's do this. Y'all have a great day.